Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a broad spectrum reading, so you need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit or it doesn't seem to work with your situation or whatever you're looking at right now, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's broken or wrong. It just might mean that you're working on something different at this time. So don't worry about that. It's originally created for Saturday, April 1st, so we have 2 new decks that we're going into the month of April with, which I'm kind of excited about. And it's not solely set for that date. You're seeing it on a different date than April 1st, but it still seems to fit to your situation. By all means, utilize the reading, right? Don't get caught up on the date. I believe that readings have a way of finding us when we need them rather than when they were originally created for. So readings can be timeless. They can be utilized at any time that you see them. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily readings or weekly readings. In there, some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the readings, whatever decks I'm using for the month, for the video, and also how to follow me on social media or request a private reading. You would either need to message me at Instagram or at my Facebook business page. Know that I won't ever hit you up to sell you a reading. If anybody ever reaches out to you and pretends to be me, it is not me, right? You have to instigate or start the conversation about getting a reading done. And then there's also easy ways of supporting the channel. You can do that by hitting that thumbs up button. The like button greatly helps. And then, sharing the video out also helps on your Facebook or Instagram. Leaving me a question or comment on the video greatly helps. I do read them all and appreciate them all. It lets me know that you're here and whether or not the content is resonating. And then subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell also lets you know anytime I put up a new reading, which is usually daily. So please do that. You can also subscribe to my Patreon if you would like to and see the readings a day early so you can prepare for the energy. What else? I think that's it. We've got 2 new decks. I'm trying to shuffle them all. Get good shuffles in on them. They're a little stiff. I'm kind of excited about how these are going to work. I'll tell you what they are right now, and I'll tell you why I'm excited. I haven't really looked at the decks. They're fresh out of the box kind of thing, but one is the Good Tarot by Collette and Reid, and I just felt like the Good Tarot sounded really nice for April, and it's this beautiful green-backed deck. And that made me think of the heart chakra, right, and healing. So I'm all for that in the month of April during spring and all of that and everything kind of coming forward and growing. That green gives me the idea of growth too. And then this is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, which I'm really excited about using because roses to me are highly spiritual symbols. And I also love that the back of this deck is pink. Those 2 colors, green and pink, are associated with the heart chakra. So I have a feeling that there's going to be some really beautiful messages coming out in these 2 decks over the month of April. We'll see how it plays out, but let's get into this. Let me shuffle these clarifiers really quick, and we'll look at what our card is for the day, what Spirit wants us to know, what energies are out there, what do we need to, make the most of or be aware of. So let's see what's going on here. New decks, new month, new messages. We do have, I know we have like an April Aries full moon, I believe, coming in with an eclipse this month. No, or is it the new moon? It might be the new moon, I don't know. It comes later this month, but it's again in Aries, and it's like, oh my god. So we'll see. Coupled with an eclipse, so that should be interesting. Alright, so I want to first look at the bottom of the deck. I don't know why, but I've just been compelled to do this, and we have the Fool. Very first card of the major arcana. This is new journeys, new beginnings, opening ourselves up to new ideas, being brave, courageous, not necessarily listening to the status quo, but taking a risk and being open to change, to new possibilities, right? So that's underpinning all of this today in the reading. Let's look at the card for today. It's the 9 of Water, which is the 9 of Cups. This is about kind of feeling emotionally fulfilled, complete, whole, understanding how we feel, having processed our emotions. Oh, I forgot to mention that if I go back to the Sunday reading and pull cards from there, that populates in the lower left-hand corner, so keep that in mind. Um, I love this card because it indicates that we're okay, right? Like we've done the processing work, especially emotionally. I also love that what these little things here that look like air bubbles under the water are actually diamonds if you look more closely. There's treasures in our emotions, right? There's things, riches to be had if we do the work. And it feels as though we have done the work and we're coming to a completion with a situation or person, relationship, idea that we've had some emotional feelings around. Not necessarily bad emotional feelings, but we certainly feel more self-assured in how we feel about this situation. And I think that there's, the fact that this is depicted by a mermaid makes me think that there might be new sort of semi magical or surprising outcomes from how we feel or what we understand around our feelings. So be open to that today. Be open to, working through our thoughts and our feelings. We do have this underpin of the Eight of Swords underneath this from the previous Sunday reading. So there may have been like areas that limited us, in communication or thought, but to me, the Nine of Cups indicates that we're coming into balance with that, completion with that, and moving forward in a way that feels emotionally fulfilled, clean, clear, um, self supporting, solid, all of that sort of stuff. Now, let's look at the Rose Oracle. These are going to be interesting. Rebecca Campbell's her decks are always beautiful and really sort of they tie in starseed work and all sorts of stuff. So this is the child within, the inner mother, innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. So with this Nine of Cups, the first thing I see when I hear of tenderness is see how she's holding her hands to herself, kind of cupping her throat and her heart at the same time. She is being sort of self-nurturing here, and she is being sort of enclosed. When I think about the mermaid, she's under the water, sort of safe in her realm, in our emotional realm. We should feel safe. And when I look at this, the child within, this is about, to me personally, it feels like letting our inner child emerge, and our inner child is going to be the part of us that has the most emotions around a certain situation or feeling. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're being bratty or upset or childlike, but remember, we did see the Fool card, so that also would be childlike in its optimism, in its possibility, all of that. So there might be a new aspect to how we feel that we're allowing to emerge. And when I say that because this woman's face is coming forward through the clouds, right? She's sort of emerging out of here. So allowing ourselves to be first maybe submerged and then re-emerge in a truth emotionally that brings us a sense of wholeness, completeness, peace, even tenderness, is a part of us that we want to nurture, care for, harbor, or put forth, right? Gently. I get this definite sense of gentleness with these two cards here, being gentle with ourselves today as we sort of steady ourselves in our new way of feeling or our new way of perceiving a situation through our emotions. Let's look at the clarifiers. So we have the Page of Wands. Fire energy, new beginnings also. Oftentimes exciting, can indicate travel or movement. Travel or movement doesn't necessarily always have to mean getting on a plane. It can mean traveling to a new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of communicating, a new way of um, seeing a situation. But the Page of Wands is always going to bring sort of like new messages, optimism, a sense of action, or not necessarily authority, but wanting to take action within a situation and being willing to learn as we go. Pages would indicate sort of also tie in with this child within card. In other words, nurture our optimism today. Trust our emotions around where we feel optimistic and allow that to come in and grow that for ourselves today. Be open to possibility. We also have the Death card. Dun dun dun. Death is Scorpio energy. It ties nicely with the Nine of Cups because that's water sign energy for sure. But death is a transformation ultimately. It's a rebirth. The key thing to death, in my opinion, is this sun that's on the horizon, meaning a new dawn is a new day is dawning, so to speak, right? And there's this white horse marching forward in strength in through the change. This change could be happening within ourselves emotionally as we emerge a little bit more aware of how we feel and what we need to do to care for ourselves and our inner child, and allowing that inner child to step forward through this page of wands maybe and begin to take action, making, sort of informed decisions from an emotional state that is steady and is ready for any change that comes along with it. And I'm not seeing the death card here because yesterday we saw the devil, so it feels like something is coming to an end that maybe wasn't beneficial for us, and we've really had to take stock in that and own that emotionally, and then sort of nurture ourselves back into this state of being ready to take action and move forward. The last card is the Three of Wands. Again, fire sign energy and taking action, but the Three of Wands is about looking to the horizon and what is it that we do want. How do we want this to play out? Where do we want it to go? It's about following our desire, our dream, our excitement, right? Looking to the horizon and sort of waiting for it to come to us, or beginning to start to manifest something new, something possible. I also like threes because threes to me are the balance of the mind, body, spirit. With the Three of Wands, it's going to be a little bit more focused on the spirit or what we desire, but we're willing to go through the changes, however strong, impactful, or big that they may be, and move forward. That is not only the Death card and the Three of Wands, but also the Fool, right, that we saw underpinning. So being willing to take a risk today, make a change, that change being our own internal truth, our own, inner child wisdom, listening to that and then allowing that to be our guide as we move forward and face any sort of, even if they're adverse changes, any sort of changes that may be around us. Here's the grounding stone for the day. The word is generosity on tiger's eye. We saw a lot of tiger's eye this week. 3 stones were on tiger's eye. Generosity is about giving to ourselves first and foremost, especially with this Nine of Cups and the child within. This is about like being kind to ourselves first and foremost. Remember, the underpinning stone for this week is about forgiveness. So if we need to forgive ourselves or a situation, a person in that situation, be generous with yourself and allow yourself that grace to be able to give that space, time, the ability to change or shift, right? Does that make sense? And live for that shift or be open to that shift. Use a childlike mind, a sense of optimism, and nurture that optimism and the good feelings that come with it. And then allow that to sort of push you forward and enable you to take action. That is your reading. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow and we'll see how this energy changes for the new weekly. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.